Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about solubility. First, we're going to compare about the solubility of solute. Then we want to explain how temperature and pressure affect solubility. Then we want to identify factors that affect how fast a solid solute dissolves in a liquid solvent. To start our lesson, because we're talking about solubility, first I want to define what does a solubility mean. The solubility of a solute is its ability to dissolve in a given amount of solvent at a certain temperature and pressure. And if you have if you have a solvent and you want to dissolve a solute inside it, the amount of solute that dissolve in this solvent, it's called what? The solubility. For sure it should be in a certain temperature and a pressure. Now we want to talk about if you have different solute and you want to compare between the solubility of these two solutes. For sure not all solute they have the same solubility. I'll give you example here. If you have ammonia gas NH3 and you have carbon dioxide, these two compounds are gases, and I want to dissolve these gases in the same amount of water. Make sure here I put the same amount of water, okay? Also the same temperature for both beakers. But here the solubility of NH3, if you want to add NH3 to this water, you will find the amount of NH3 ammonia that dissolve in water will be more than amount of carbon dioxide that dissolve in the same amount of water and the same temperature, which means different substances they have different solubility. Also, some substances they do not dissolve in water at all. For example, oil it can dissolve in water. Wax, it can dissolve in water. Okay, now we so here for the solubility, as we said before, some substances they have different solubility. Some substances they do not dissolve in water. The substances that do not dissolve in water, they are called insoluble substances. Now we want to talk about the factors. What are the factors that affect the solubility? Let's talk about the main two factors first. The main two factors that affect the solubility. The first factor is the temperature. The temperature here, if you have a solid, most solid actually, they dissolve more, you can dissolve more of the solute if it is solid in a solvent if the temperature is higher. So most, you have to pay attention, I said most of solid they dissolve higher or more at higher temperature. Okay, what about gases? Because I talked about solid. Most solid solute they dissolve more quickly where and the greater amount in a higher temperature. What about the gases? Actually, gases, when you increase the temperature, the solubility of gases will decrease. It's the opposite. It's very important to know that. The opposite is true for gases. So for gases, when you increase the temperature, the solubility of gases, it will decrease. It will be less. I'll give you an example. If you have a Pepsi can, okay, and you leave it for a while out of the fridge, and you try to open it to drink it, you will find the taste of the Pepsi, it's not good. Why? Because the carbon dioxide inside the bottle who escape from the liquid because of higher temperature, so the taste it will be it's not good. To make it good, you put it in the fridge. Okay, so the gas will dissolve. So in a higher temperature, the gases will not dissolve more. They will dissolve less. But in lower temperature for gases, they dissolve more. The second factor that affect the solubility, we want to talk now about pressure. For pressure here, the pressure do not usually change the solubility of solid or liquid. It changes what? The solubility actually of gases. So this factor is mainly for gases. When you increase the pressure on gases, that will make what? The solubility higher. However, the solubility of a gas increase at higher temperature and decrease at higher pressure and decrease at lower pressure. Okay, example also for Pepsi cans. Once you open the can and you leave it, okay, the carbon dioxide will escape from the can. Okay, that's why when you leave it for a while open, the taste of Pepsi it's not good, because the solubility of carbon dioxide decrease when you open the can, because when you opened the can, what happened? You decrease the pressure, so the solubility it decreased of the carbon dioxide. To understand how the pressure will affect the solubility of gases, you have a question 11 and a question 12. In question 11 and question 12, you have a table. This table represents the solubility of oxygen in the same amount of water, the standard, which is 100 gram of water. And here you have different pressure. The pressure is given by kilopascal, the unit, and here the amount of oxygen dissolved in milligram. Okay, from this table it shows how different pressure will give a different amount of oxygen can dissolve. If also down, as you see here, you have a graph. In this graph, in y-axis you have amount of oxygen, and in the x-axis you have the pressure. In question 11, first you have to plot line a graph using the data at the right to show the relationship between the solubility of oxygen in water and the pressure at 10 Celsius. For sure here, because I have changed the pressure, the temperature should be what? The same for all. I didn't change it. But in question 2, explain the relationship between pressure and solubility. Yani after you draw the graph, what do you conclude from this experiment? Okay, so it's a homework in page 272. Okay, so send this one to my email.